This band needs no introduction. They are the band that everyone is talking about. They are truly taking over the indie pop, alt pop scene, and with their latest track, Oh Shit, Are We in Love, that exemplifies their classic Valley nostalgic sound and with fresh flair. You can catch them across the US this fall with Coin and on your For You page. Please welcome Mickey and Alex of Valley.
Woo! What's up?
Hello, hello. So just to kind of get us started, what was the first thing you guys listened to today?
I haven't listened to music today yet.
I haven't either. You caught me before that.
I
Yeah.
think the first thing I'm probably gonna listen to, because I have to go on a walk to get a haircut, and it's like an 8-minute walk. So what would be the
Okay.
first thing I listen to? Honestly, it'll probably be demos. I like walking and listening to my friends' music, like demos that like we have a lot of artist friends and we all like kind of share music with each other. So I always love to listen to like get inspired by like our friends, and also probably gonna listen to Oh Shit because it's coming out soon. And so I guess that's like kind of a conceited answer, but it helps me like think and like evaluate and stuff. And it's probably an anxiety thing too. Like, okay, is it still good? I forget. And like we like always have to like play it. But yeah, so probably my friends' demos or Valley demos.
That's fair. That's fair.
I
Alex, do
feel
you have any
like
plans to listen?
I definitely have plans to listen to something. I got to drive today, so I'm gonna go on a
Oh
long
yeah,
drive probably and put on some tunes. But what's funny is I usually wake up with a song in my head that I listened to the night before, often.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still
oh,
have it in
drives
my
me
head.
crazy.
And yeah. And I think I went to bed with Avril Lavigne in my head. I think
Nice.
complicated. So
What a better
I have,
track.
which is a fantastic song, and I don't know why, but I've been listening to a lot of Avril Lavigne lately. But
Banger.
yeah, fantastic songs. She's a Canadian icon, shall we say?
She really is.
Yeah.
And have you guys partaken in the theory that she's dead and then somebody replaced her?
Oh my God. Yeah, I've heard
I've
about that.
I've heard about it.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
I'd
so.
I'd like to
No, we're
hope
She
not.
just
she's
she got
doing
sick.
well and alive. From the OG
Yeah.
Avril.
That's fair. The
Yeah.
OG. Yeah, I don't remember what they named her, but I remember that theory came out when I was like in college, and all of us were just like,
Favril.
"Whoa!" And then it was just a
So,
wormhole.
we were on
Yeah,
tour and we met her like uncle or something. Or no, her stepdad.
her
Okay, yeah.
stepdad. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, he was a really nice dude, and he was wearing an Avril shirt, and he was like so passionate about Avril, and he showed us all these photos of him with Avril. It was like so cute.
It's so wholesome.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so I maybe he would have spilled the beans if it was true that she's dead,
That's
but
true.
I
Maybe we
hope
wouldn't
she's
be as
alive
excited.
and healthy and doing well. I mean, she's been releasing music and killing it, so happy for her.
Honestly, and I'm glad we could talk about that.
Yeah.
um, so looking back, so the Toronto music scene right now is very much on the up and poppin' and up and up. How did the Toronto music scene kind of affect what you guys did? I know that you guys met when you were in separate projects,
Yeah.
but how did that music scene kind of affect what you guys did?
Hmm.
I mean, it was very, very influential for us. Alex can talk a bit about it as well, but like, it's funny because when we were growing up making music, the like indie rock scene in Toronto was like so huge. Like the Arkells and Tokyo Police Club and
Yeah.
Colorado and all these like bands that were mostly massive in
Colorado.
Canada, like yeah, you're literally wearing a Colorado shirt. But they were like these like indie rock bands that like basically raised us as teenagers. And that's the first thing we bonded over. But then as we started kind of making music more seriously, we like entered more of the pop space and got like really obsessed with pop music and just like all of a sudden, I don't know if it was like placebo, but all of a sudden, like the pop charts were just covered by like Canadians, like Alessia
Yeah.
Cara, Shawn Mendes, Justin Bieber, Drake, The Weeknd, Party Next Door. Like it's a never-ending list of like these Toronto pop artists that are just like so internationally like massive and have changed pop music forever,
Mm-hmm.
like across all genres. And so I think our music is like sitting in this like in terms of like Canadian influence, because we're also obsessed with like UK music and American artists
Yeah.
and like Asian pop stars and stuff like that that really influence us. But in terms of the Canadian side of it, like I think we're kind of an amalgamation of like those two Canadian influences and stuff that we've been like hearing on the radio or been paired with at festivals and shows and stuff in Canada. So like yeah, it's like the pop artists and those indie artists that kind of were like a blend of those maybe in terms of influence. So definitely affected us largely.
I mean, the Toronto music scene for sure raised us. And yeah, we bonded over a lot of that music in our early days, in our formative years, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you nailed it.
And personally, what artist in your youth was the biggest influence for you? This like doesn't have to be Canadian, but what was the biggest influential
Ooh,
artist?
good question. In
Depends
my
on
youth,
the
youth?
grade or the year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what
no,
really
it depends
sparked
on.
your passion? Like for me, I think of when I first listened to From Under a Cork Tree, and I was in third grade.
Oh wow.
So that's what I think about when I mean, not that I am a singer by any means,
If we're going that
or
young, I would say like Motown and Jackson 5 and stuff, because my
heck
dad
yeah.
played a lot of like Motown, soul, Jackson 5, R&B stuff from
Hmm.
like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Like there was a lot of R&B that my dad listened to there. But then getting older, I got into like pop punk, like got into like the Green Day stuff.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Alex too. I mean, Alex is like the number one Green Day fan in the entire world. And
So did I.
then I think in high school, I got introduced to like hip hop and like Drake specifically, probably because he's from Toronto, and like got really influenced by like that type of R&B
Hmm.
and stuff. And then also had like the acoustic like Jason Mraz phase right back in high school, and then um, got really into like just straight like pop music that has like the cool twist to it, you know?
Hmm.
Like I just love pop music that has a subgenre that ended up making it to radio,
Hmm.
but also like kind of comes from a place of like underground alternative, like whether it's Post Malone or like Walk the Moon,
Yeah.
or like it's kind of this like subgenre pop music that or SZA or like anyone that's like Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Had obsessed with Taylor Swift, and Justin Bieber is like my like pop hero, like both his voice and songwriting and the way he changes. And anyway, I'll let Alex talk though, because Alex has a lot of like the Green Day, Coldplay influences that you can go.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like I probably went through like 10 different phases before Green Day, but then that one made me start playing music. I don't know, like I listened to the Beatles a ton. I had a huge Beatles phase. The Who, the Guess Who. Guess Who's a great Canadian band. But then yeah, no, like I got a burned CD from my aunt. It was American Idiot, and that was the
Best pop
CD.
record like ever.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like I
Yeah.
think it had like six number ones on it or something. Like it's nuts how big that album was. But yeah, no, that one really made me start playing music. I still probably know how to play every song on guitar from that album. And yeah, and then I don't know, I kind of transitioned from that to a bunch of other stuff. It was really like a gateway record. I had started listening to Blink, a bunch of pop music, and yeah, that was my gateway. Coldplay for
I think
sure.
as a band, the first artist that like we were like, oh my god, we need to be like a professional band, and we need to make shows like this, and like do this is like obviously the 1975. Like I
Yeah.
think the 1975 basically birthed like 1,000 bands.
A
You know what I
hundred
mean? Like
percent.
So true.
Yeah.
they started an era, and I like we don't like to follow in their musical footstep necessarily as much
Mhm.
as like we don't try and make music that sounds like the 1975. Like
Right.
obviously we have a lot of subgenres within our music that is far from them, but I think in terms of like how true they are to their art and how every time they come back it's just like, hey, here's a completely different fucking thing. Like
Yeah.
we just like love that, and I think we bonded over the 1975 because that's the first band we like found as a band
Hmm.
opposed to like bringing new influences in. So that was definitely a big bonding experience for us.
As like a big music fan, I was obviously very big into One Direction. I had that whole, fangirl phase. Well, still in it, but like it's fine. But the pipeline between One Direction to the 1975 to like what we are now, and that whole like how people transitioned through that whole thing was just almost seamless. And I think the 1975 came in as a lot of us were getting older, and I say us as like, a general like age group, which really like made us all just like sing robbers and like want to cry.
Oh
And I
yeah.
finally saw them live for the first time. Right, it was December 2019.
Honestly, one of the best shows of all time.
Hands down, I saw them twice in a weekend because they did a festival and then they did like a headline, or I think they both were festivals, but both of
The
them were just,
lighting, oh my
oh
god,
my
the
gosh,
production
yeah.
is
Everything.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm really like glad that that's was a big one for you guys as a band, especially because they, like you said, they really can just pop off with like a record that you've never heard before. And even the last one they put out, I mean, not to get into it, but personally it wasn't my favorite, but like they were like they are
Yeah,
consistent, and they can keep flipping that and flipping that and flipping it and
yeah.
still be who they are.
They're almost more of a statement band than anything. Like they're just
Yeah.
like they're true artists. It's not really about the music as much as it is like the entire thing.
Right.
The videos, the artistry, the interviews, that like they're just like they were one of the first examples for us as a band to be like, shit, like we really got to be like fucking artists, and like
Yeah,
because I mean I think it's always been in us, but like it was a really cool example
for
um
sure.
as a band to like kind of look up to.
And the last year alone has been speechless. We all know how we all feel about last year. As a band, and then personally, what has been the biggest struggle for you guys?
Alex, you want to go for that one?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest struggle, because we've done a ton of writing together as a band. We've produced a ton of music together, but it's always been in like pockets of time. I feel like there hasn't been any consistency. We haven't been able to. Uh, I mean, like no, there's. Let me rephrase that. There's been consistency in where like over months we've been getting together X amount of times a week or whatever, but we haven't been able to just like hang out randomly like we used to because of COVID. I mean, like it's a lot better now. I'd say more so
Yeah,
early COVID to mid COVID. Um, we we just like we're trying to follow guidelines and you know
Yeah.
be safe and
yeah,
so that was the biggest thing. And I think because we're all four friends, it's
Hmm.
our band is more than just the music. We love each other. We love spending time with each other, and that is like a key aspect of our group for sure. And when you take that away, and it's just the music and just the business of it all, like it's
Hmm.
great, but the interpersonal relationships are almost more important.
special stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
so we're so good now, and it's just nice now that we're all vaccinated and we can hang out and go on tour, and we're going on a mini run in tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow
yeah.
morning we're leaving, and we're all so excited to finally be back and uh, traveling together. That stuff is just so much fun, and um, that's what was missing. And yeah, it's but it's all good now.
Yeah, I'd honestly say like so I mean, I this definitely isn't the case for everybody, but we were incredibly fortunate that like none of our close friends or family members actually suffered from like the disease itself. Um, so that being said, like for us, and like we're so grateful for this, I think there were honestly like more silver linings than there were issues for us. I mean, I'm saying that very optimistically. I think
Right.
if I was a pessimist, there were a ton of horrible things. Like we had like multiple tours and festivals and shows that were canceled. We couldn't get together for like months on end. We got tested like 20 times
Yeah.
last year to do
Oh
every
wow.
music video and like to hustle. Like anxiety was through the roof because like we wanted to be socially conscious, but we also like didn't want to like lose what we've been building for the last 7 years of our life. So it's like there were all those struggles, but I think coming out of it, we're we I think did such a good job of like building as an artist and adapting to the situation. And like I think there was a lot of personal growth, like self growth. Like there's just so many silver linings I think that came out of it. So I like to like I feel like focusing on that, or it's almost hard not to focus on that because like I genuinely am like really proud of the band and like how we came out of the pandemic, both as like personal people and also as like a business and artists
Yeah.
and stuff. So um, honestly, like there's a lot of silver linings that like are really great.
100%. And my favorite thing to ask people about the pandemic is, did you pick up any weird hobbies? Like weird things, weird talents that, you wouldn't have before. I learned how to make macaroons.
Nice.
And it was like the biggest, like, oh my, I did it. Hours of
Nice.
sweating in the kitchen, just
Yeah.
like, and I did it.
I
Did you guys
love
find
those.
anything weird?
Mike?
Alex got more into production. Like you started produ because he like stayed up at his cottage for like a ton of it with his like cousin and started producing her and like got like really into his own production like by himself.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
What
no,
else did
I
you do, Alex?
definitely that. Yeah, I definitely kind of dove into new genres of music that I had never really like kind of stepped into before, which was
Became
super
a
fun.
country boy.
Ooh.
I became a country bumpkin. No, well, it's so funny though, because like I feel like when you're not exposed to certain types of music in the right environment, you'll maybe be closed off to it. And I think I
Yeah.
was closed off at a certain point until last, not this summer, but last summer. I just I was around a lot of country music, and it's great. It's good stuff, you know. And I think it came in at the right time, and I love it. And now I can confidently say I appreciate all types of music. And it's funny because like we'd go to shows or we'd play shows and fans would come up and talk to us and we'd talk about our favorite types of music and they'd be like, "Oh, like anything but country." And I'd say the same thing and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, yeah, anything but country." But no, it's I think you just really have to be exposed to it in the right environment. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's one of the things I got into is country music and producing that a little bit on the side. But I got obsessed with space. I
Oh,
just
okay.
I don't know. I had I
Because the
became
gummies.
like I became like a space nerd. And wait, what'd you say, Mike?
I said it's because the gummies. You
Yeah,
got
the
all
weed gummies.
existential with space. Getting high.
Oh, I mean, I got existential in general, but yeah, no, weed gummies plus space thoughts. Whew, that's a lot.
Woo!
But
Just blow your mind real
but
quick.
yeah, but no, but it's been really cool to watch like what like SpaceX and Elon's company is doing, and it's a cool thing. It's really fun to watch with like Starship, and don't even get me started. Don't it's just and it's been a great summer to Star Watch, and Jupiter and Saturn have been right there in the sky every night. Super cool. But yeah, that's
Wow.
been one of my COVID hobbies for sure.
I got I
Heck
got
yeah.
really into making pasta.
Ooh, like hand making like
Yeah,
eggs and
hand making
flour.
it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
from
that's
Wow.
right.
and like cooking because I moved out of my parents' house and moved into this apartment in Toronto and uh I became vegan and so I have to learn how to cook.
Hmm.
And so I got really into cooking and I made this Alfredo linguine, vegan Alfredo linguine the other day that I was so proud of myself because I notoriously with my girlfriend and her family and her friends and stuff, I'm just a horrible cook because I've screwed up cooking so many times and it's funny because I'm super Italian, or at least I look super. I'm only half Italian, really, but I was raised with all this amazing Italian cooking, but I
Yeah.
never actually learned how to cook because there was just plates thrown in front of me my whole life. So yeah, I've been making a lot of pasta, and I love it, and I'm pretty good at it, I will
I
say.
can confirm it's good.
Man.
It's good. Our last Airbnb stay when we did a writing trip slash production trip. Mike made the last night or like one of the last nights. You made
Yeah,
pasta, or well, I guess we did it together. But he led the whole
with
thing, and
ravioli, right?
yeah, we made
Was it
ravioli. Oh my God, that was so good.
stuffed with the three cheese? Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. I'm so
Man.
hungry now.
The best one I made though was we made the other day. My roommates and I we made the pump. We made a pumpkin, a sweet pumpkin ravioli.
Yeah,
It's
Wow.
yeah.
stuffed with sweet pumpkin. It's so good.
That's it.
Oh
I'm coming over for dinner.
yeah,
I'll bring macaroons. I'll trade.
yeah, exactly. You'll do
That's a
dessert.
good
I'll do
trade.
dinner. Funny.
um well, I just think it's so funny because I feel like everybody obviously did creative ventures and stuff like that, especially
Hmm.
for you guys, and finding those little pockets of happiness.
Yeah.
I graduated college in December 2019. I moved
Congrats.
home and then COVID hit, and I had a full-time job and I still was going into the office, and we were getting tested and stuff, but I needed those so
Yeah.
hence this podcast number one was one of them.
Nice.
And then baking. Uh
Yeah.
but I mean, this year alone has been essentially explosive for you guys. 1999, TikTok, that's a whole thing. And I found that it has hit over 170 million streams and appeared on viral charts in the US, obviously, Philippines, Korea, Japan, and even more. And the first time I heard this song, I obviously loved it. I was born in 97, so I hit that perfect zillennial mark. Have you guys heard of the
Nice.
term zillennial?
Yeah.
Zillennial. No, I
So,
haven't. I haven't heard that term actually. That's good.
really?
Gen Z, millennial,
Yeah, it's the
yeah.
perfect if you're right in between. And I think that's why, personally, I think the song did so well is because it hits that perfect age gap of
Right.
people who want to experience those things. We're kind of there, we're kind of not, but we grew up
Yeah.
in that kind of era. So how was your reaction to that? Was the plan to kind of go at that on TikTok, or did it just happen that way?
Oh no, it honestly it was so organic, which is so funny because we hyper plan and overthink so much shit. Every little detail has to be so perfect, this and that. We get so obsessive. But then 1999 was honestly the least amount of effort we've ever had. But it was just
It's true.
fun and organic, and it was honestly a lesson for us. We gotta overthink less because we were writing a song over Zoom with our friends Charlie and John, and they're from Nashville actually, which is really fun too. But we were writing a song, and nobody was really vibing it. It was all kind of this is good, but maybe let's start something new. And we just kept pushing, and nothing was coming. So then we were okay, let's take a 2 minute break, and then let's set a timer for 30 minutes. Whatever we come up with those 30 minutes, if it's good, we keep writing. If it's bad, we just call it a day. Some days you don't get it, some days you do.
Hmm.
And then we ended up writing the melody of that hook. I think it was John that originally came with if you wanna, and then from there we were okay, that's amazing, let's roll with that. And then we went back, we did the verses and the pre, and then it just wrote itself in an hour.
Yeah.
which was great. And then we were like actually jamming to it. Like that original video was not
Yeah.
staged. Like we had a guy named Chris, our old friend Chris Borges.
Hmm.
Anyone who's watching, you should go look him up on Instagram. He's awesome. And we had him up to like document like us writing and producing and stuff and just making content. And we were just like bumping to the demo because we like loved it so much. And he like filmed it and like posted it, and like it actually, we woke up the next day and it had like 100,000 something plays or views or whatever, and then like within the week it was over 1 million, and then it just like kept going. So our like we had a call with our label and our management, and they were like, you have to release this like right now. People are asking for it, just give it to them. And we were like, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
So then we, this is where the effort came in. In like 3 days, we had to like finish writing like the bridge and tweaking it and stuff, and then we fully produced it the next day and tracked vocals, and then we got it mixed and mastered like basically the next day, and then like
Wow.
uploaded to Spotify like the day after, and it was just like boom, 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 like just 16-hour days getting it all finished and wrapped up. And then it came out, and it's our best streaming song, right, Alex?
By
Alex is the data
far.
guy. Who knows?
Yeah, no,
But
it's
yeah, it's our streaming song. We were just like, okay, well that just like happened in a week, and I don't even remember. Like it was just like it
it
happened.
really fell out of the sky. Like it almost feels like a distant memory, but it at the same time feels
Yeah,
like yesterday. Like it just happened. Yeah.
yeah. And we just rolled with the vibe of not overproducing it, not
Hmm.
overthinking it. We were like, this happened organically. Like whatever comes to mind, let's just do it. And we wanted to keep it really simple. And I think people really connected with that. And so we just focused on what people were connecting with and didn't want to change it too much from the video, because like people obviously connected to that TikTok video. So it's like if we then went and overproduced it from there, like I don't think people would connect to it. So let's just like literally keep it the same, just make sure it sounds really good, and that's it. That's
Hell
all. That's
yeah.
all we did. Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. And the interesting thing is like I've seen like other bands and they've had like similarly the same situation. Not as explosive, first of all. And it's not like a not in like a bad way. But
Yeah.
it's not like a kind of like an upward, it's kind of like a peak and then it just drops down. And for
Right.
you guys, I feel like that didn't happen. And as like a longtime fan, I adored that. And then of course you guys dropped Society and then Tempo. And as recording this, it's not out yet, but your publicist did send it to me, so I did hear it. And oh shit, are we in love? You guys have like hit different like emotional like points in people's lives with all four of these songs,
Yeah.
which I think is fabulous. And saying that like maybe it's honestly like one of my favorite albums of all time.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thank
I'm
you.
like very excited to hear like the continuation of all of this because like I'm getting the similar feel of like hitting kind of like a theatrical, like a
Yeah.
very much cinematic album or EP or whatever that looks like. And for Tempo, I do want to bring up you worked with Josh Goodwin, who has an amazing resume, Dua
Yeah.
Lipa, The Aces, and personally, there's two other ones that aren't related, but the Despicable Me 2 soundtrack and Soldier Boy
Yes.
Tell 'Em.
Oh my
Um,
god, I love that you know that.
and for you guys, he mixed it, right?
Yeah.
How was that process? Like, how did that happen? Did you guys like want to work with him, or did it kind of just like fall into place?
It's funny because people ask us that a lot about Tempo, but I
Hmm.
think what a lot of people don't know is he mixed the entire Sucks to See You Doing Better album or EP.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so we actually just like, again, it's going back to like how I love Justin Bieber and his music and the way everything sounds, and then also there's this producer named Ian Kirkpatrick
Hmm.
who produces a lot of like the Selena stuff and the Dua Lipa stuff and like all those incredible artists, and it all just sounds like so good to me. So I started like looking into like who was all a part of the process, like from the artist singing it to the songwriters to the producers to the mixer to the masterer, And there was this like through line of like Ian Kirkpatrick going to like Josh Goodwin mixing it, and this guy named Randy mastering it. So we were just like, let's reach out to these people because like we're obsessed with
Yeah.
them. And so we got our managers to like get in contact with Josh's manager, I believe, and he listened to the music, and I don't know, he liked it. Thank God. He also said he has like a really like Toronto has a very special place in his heart, which is like probably helped a little bit, but was like really nice of him to say. And so he was like, "Yeah, I'd love to work with you guys." And so it kind of just worked out. We were both fans of each other, so I guess that is kind of the key ingredient.
For sure.
And it was great. He's incredible. Like he's so talented.
I was like looking through his website and I was like, oh, that's sick. And then I saw the Despicable Me soundtrack and I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I love that he does stuff like that too.
So is there any producers you guys have ever dreamed of working with you'd like to work with? I mean, like personally, I would give my left leg to see you guys do something with Jack Antonoff.
Oh yeah,
But that is just my personal bias.
100%.
That would be a that'd be a pretty crazy one. It's funny because I mean Jack was definitely a very early inspiration because making he's been making incredible music
Even in fun.
for
Yeah.
oh my God, yeah. Like also I really hope there's a fun reunion at some point. I love fun so much, and I feel like I didn't realize how much I loved fun until like after they weren't really a thing anymore.
Like, that's another
And
example of an artist that's just changed pop music and radio forever.
For sure.
Right. Didn't mean to cut you off, Alex, but yeah, keep
no,
going.
no, absolutely no. No, but I feel like it'd be interesting at this point to see what we would do with Jack, you know, because we obviously do a lot of production on our own, and we've developed so much as writers and producers, and I mean like so has he over the years. But he has like a staple sound. I feel like it'd be cool to see what would come from that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody
Who
else
knows?
you dream of working with?
Ian Kirkpatrick,
Hmm.
obsessed with Ian. Jorgen was one of them. So Jorgen produced, I think he's the only, yeah, him and Andy Seltzer are the only other producers on this EP, right? Alex,
Yeah,
I think?
yeah.
Yeah, so Jorgen produced Oh Shit, Are We in Love with Us? And he is disgusting. He's ridiculous. Like every sound he puts, he's very minimal with his production. But every sound is like the best sound I've ever heard. And I'm like, literally how? Like it's such a dream. I love it. He's worked on like Holy by Justin Bieber, and he
Yeah.
like did like he's done a bunch of like incredible stuff. And also found him through that like vein. And our manager is actually like old friends with him
Oh,
and
wow.
his manager because like they knew each other when they were working on projects in like Vegas or something like years and years and years ago. Um,
And somehow he's only
so that
24. How old is he? 24? 20, 25?
23.
23, is
Wow.
he?
No,
Oh my God.
23. It's
That makes me
like
sick.
depressing. It is. It's like ridiculous. But he won like a beat making beats like contest when he was like 15, and that's when his manager found him and started like having him produce songs and stuff. And then he produced, I'm pretty sure like an Imagine Dragons thing or something,
Yeah.
or like something in that crew when he was like 16, and it like went to #1. And then since then he's just been like
A machine.
a
A
Oh
machine.
yeah.
machine.
He's
Absolutely
Jeez.
on it.
ridiculous. He's one of those crazy talented people, and he's just had like a bunch of #1s last year. So super, happy for him and proud of him. I say proud of him as if I've known him my whole life. I haven't, but it's just like for some reason I'm just still so proud of him. He's just amazing. He's also the nicest dude ever. So really happy to have worked with him. Um, who else? There's a lot of writers that we super want to work with. But producers, like, it's so hard. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many good writers and so many good producers, and like, it feels like it sometimes gets overwhelming, like trying to network and work with all of them because we also naturally in the band there's four of us, so it's like a four-way, co-write. So it's like sometimes it gets so much we're like it's hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
But also it's such a dream to work with so many of these people. So like we kind of have to like take it slowly throughout like the process and over the years, and just
Mhm.
know like we're hopefully going to work with everyone that we want to work with eventually, and just kind of take it at a slower pace. But yeah, there's so
I
many
feel like
people.
there's probably also some other, uh, I feel like maybe like more established or larger names, maybe like Max Martin or something that
Oh
we
Oh yeah,
yeah.
would. I mean, I have no idea what we would get from something like that, but I feel like it'd be really cool to just
I
see,
love that.
you know. Um,
Yeah.
we're open to anything. So Max, if you want to come and work with us, we're back in late September. Yeah, come hang.
Yep.
Let's work
Hit
on
him
something.
up.
And we've never reached out. Might as
No,
well.
might as well. It's funny. As I
Listen,
see
We,
the gears
let me
turning
make
in
some
your
phone
head, you're
calls.
like, you know what? Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do it.
why don't we try? I mean,
We
Coin
could.
did that song "Cemetery" with Max Martin.
Was that with Max Martin?
Coin, yeah, the Cemetery was with Max Martin.
Oh, that's a great song.
I
Yeah,
feel like a baby is
it's,
being born in front of me right now.
yeah, it is. It is a great song. There, that concept was amazing. I love that. Very
um,
cool.
so I want to get into Oh Shit Are We in Love, but while we're on this topic, you guys, including Kara and Rob, have also produced for other people, and a
Yeah.
lot of people we've had on this podcast have worked with you guys in one way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Beyond the Sun, I know did a write with Karen Robb,
Yeah.
and No Disco has worked with you. You guys are friends with No Disco.
Yeah.
How is it being that you guys like your reactions to bands wanting to work with you now that you guys have gotten to this point? I think it's amazing, and I love hearing when. And The Wildlife was another one that.
Love those boys. Yeah.
It's crazy. How is that reaction to you guys for being the band that people now want to work with in that way, shape, or form?
I think it's a I think it's a beautiful thing. Like I don't I don't think it's necessarily like an us thing as much as it is like just like collaborating with
Mm-hmm.
like people who you like connect with on like a musical level or like a career level, and like always trying to like learn from each other, because we do it to other artists like all the time as well. Like we we know what it's like because we our whole lives have like reached out to like bands that we admire, and a lot of these artists that reach out to us, we also love their music. So it's like it's a pretty mutual thing, but it's flattering, it's really cool. But we also like think they're awesome, so the people that we do work with, multiple times or whatever, we see a lot of potential in, and we also want to be a part of their crew, and we want them to be a part of our crew, and like build this like community of artists that are coming up together. So it's really fun.
Mhm.
For sure. I think it's just so funny. Like every time I was interviewing somebody, it's always like, oh, like, here's Valley, and they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we've worked with Valley. Oh, we want to work with Valley. We've opened for Valley. We've done this, and it was just like the funniest thing because it was never
I love
planned. I mean, like I knew you'd worked with No Disco in the past, and I knew Beyond the Sun,
that.
but it was just like, what the fuck? Like these people are really everywhere, and I
Yeah.
didn't realize it until these conversations kept happening.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so our shit, oh shit, are we in love? I absolutely adore the track, and I will say the hook was stuck in my head for the next like 24 hours after I listened to it.
Yes.
And I
Sick.
think it's just a fun track, and the video is even funnier. Um,
So fun.
I wasn't
That's gonna
expecting
be
it
a
either.
I know. It's so weird. Yeah, we found we shouldn't say too much. I mean, is this gonna
well.
air before or after?
It's gonna be the September 18th, so you can.
Okay,
That's why
Okay,
she
so
sent
sick.
it to
yeah,
me before. Yeah.
Josh the animator. Woo!
Oh my God.
We found him on Instagram, and we're just like, "Hello, we need to work."
Yeah, Josh and Sahil killed this video. We just wanted to try something different, like we've never done anything from like an animation standpoint or a special effect standpoint. And yeah, it kind of just, we were brainstorming. We were like, what haven't we done that's like
Yeah.
within grasp? Like what is feasible for us to do at this level? And we found Josh through Instagram, I think it was, right? And
Yeah.
um, he's just so talented. And we were like, yeah, let's try this. And yeah, and Josh
And
absolutely
then
hit it out of the park. It's crazy.
the guy who uh, shot and directed it, named Sawhill, Sunset Sawhill. You could also look him up on Instagram. And then Josh, the animator, is just Joshin on Instagram. But yeah, we like accidentally ended up working with Sawhill because the people we usually work with, they were like out of town at the time. We had like a tight timeline, and our friend Sawhill shoots some other friends of ours and stuff. So we called him up and we were like, "Yo, we got this like short timeline. Our like normal the dudes we usually work with are out of time," and he also like slayed it. And then we got him in contact with Josh, and like it all kind of came together really quickly and by accident in a way, which turned out beautifully. Like I can't believe. It's just so weird. The video is so funny. I love it.
It's like all of a sudden Alex just turns into a slushie.
I know. I know. I love that. Brainstorming all the animations were so fun. We were like,
Oh yeah.
we just sent a bunch of ideas to Josh, and he told us what he could and couldn't do, and he
Yeah.
sent ideas back too, and it was just really funny.
It felt like a high moment. We were like, what's wacky shit that we can do?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We were all
yeah,
sitting at a park bench in Toronto, or like a
No
like a
pun
picnic
intended, I'm
table.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And there was some wacky shit we came up with. Uh, yeah, no, it was fun, and
Yeah, so
I'm
weird.
stoked for everybody to see it. I guess at this point, when this airs, people will have watched it and hopefully liked it, and yeah.
And the track alone is great. And out of the couple songs that we've heard this year, it's more so of like the love song. And I imagine it very much in a romantic comedy. You know,
Yes.
pre-video, of course, it could be anyway. But what was the inspiration? What was the writing process like for this track?
So we did it on Zoom over Zoom with Jorgen, and it was really funny. Uh, Rob and I's girlfriends had like this like really funny like comment conversation on one of our posts that was like I think Becca or Charlotte commented is like, oh, they never write songs about us, and like tagged Becca as like a joke because I think I don't know, one of Charlotte's songs was about me or something. I forget what post it was on. But it was really funny. And then they had, I know, they were like, ugh, men, right? And then like all the fans were commenting like, why don't you write songs about your girlfriends and stuff? And we thought it was so funny because like it's just like it's a weird thing when there's like four people writing a song, but then like you're trying to write it about like your relationship. So like it's always been just like kind of hard to do in terms of it getting diluted because like
Yeah.
obviously like if Alex is single or like Kara's single, like they can't like be writing from my perspective of my girlfriend, or it's just like harder and like weirder. But then we were like,
Right.
fuck it, like let's do it, let's try it. So we were like, let's just also like we don't really have many love songs. We have a lot of like songs about connection and stuff,
Right.
but it's like kind of elusive whether it's about a relationship or your friend or your relationship with your mom or whatever. It's like, so we were like, let's just write a fucking love song, just straight up. So it's kind of about thinking that so I mean both Becca and Rob's relationship is similar to Charlotte's and I's in the sense that like we were friends before it, and like doing stuff together, like like traveling or whatever, or like working on music together or something, like kind of having this like connection as friends. And then so it's kind of about the song's kind of about like thinking you'd always fall in love with someone in this like romantic comedy way where like you drop your keys and the other person picks them up and your hands would touch and you go, oh, blah, blah, blah. But then one day you realize like the person that you end up with or whatever is like oftentimes just somebody who's been there the whole time. It's like You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So it's like
Absolutely.
it's the oh shit moment, like oh shit, like we're in love, like let's just date. You know what I mean? So it's funny.
It's such a great track. I'm excited for everybody to hear it. I can't wait to save it on Spotify. It's pre-saved. What are you guys excited most about the next couple shows? There's Bottle Rock. Wonderbus is tomorrow for you guys, and then obviously the Nashville show, which I can't wait for. I'm so excited to see it. What's the most exciting part about those coming up?
To have
Alex, you
people.
take that.
I don't know. I mean, like, we've played so much as a band. We've been so fortunate to have the time to rehearse a bunch and play new songs. Actually, no. I think playing the songs that we've had out for the better part of a year live will be great. We're gonna play a bunch of the Sucks EP.
Heck yeah.
We're gonna play a few maybe songs, and we're gonna play some new songs. And I think just being able to do that is gonna be really nice.
Yeah.
I've got nothing
Meeting
else.
the
Like
fans,
that's
the
it.
new fans in person. It's
Seeing
gonna be so great. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because no, I feel like we've grown so much over the last
we've almost
18 months. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Sorry. Oh no, I think the internet was doing that thing where we talk over each other. My bad. I was just saying,
Yeah.
like, I think we've like tripled our monthly listeners since the pandemic started, and we haven't met any of them in person. So it's like getting to have that like actual human connection and not just like seeing comments or like statistics. It's like
Right.
it's a lot more cold, but like being able to like meet these people in person and like hear the stories of how they heard our music and how it's affected them is like really what makes it worth it. Like worth the grind or whatever. Just like the doing it. So that's gonna be really special, I think.
So do you want to play a game of quick pick where I make you quick pick a song with the first scenario or first song that comes to head with a specific scenario? Mumble jumble.
Yes.
So the first one is you are trapped in an elevator and the person you are stuck in the elevator with, their phone just won't stop ringing and the song is your worst nightmare to hear over and over again. What song would be playing? This might be controversial, but I'm picking Dynamite by Tayo Cruz. I can't stand that song.
Oh my god. Honestly, some very like I don't know, like some super pretentious, like fusion jazz. I don't know a specific song, or honestly, if it was a Valley song, that would be the worst. If a Valley song was just like playing over and over, I'd be so awkward.
Yeah, you'd fall
That's
out of love with that song too. You'd be like, I don't want to freaking listen to this song anymore. Fuck
Never
this.
play the song live again.
Yeah. I don't actually have a specific song, but I feel like, like when there's, I mean, there's different songs for different situations, and I feel like a high energy like rap song would not be
oh,
what I want to listen to all the time. And I
stress.
feel like if I was trapped in an elevator, that's the last thing I would want to hear on repeat.
That's fair.
Or you know what? The hold song that goes do 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 cha 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 do 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 cha 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 do.
Oh
You know that?
my
You
God.
know that song that always every time I'm on hold I hear that song? I don't want to fucking hear that when I'm stuck in an elevator.
Absolutely not.
I think the iPhone, just general iPhone ringtone would just make me want to just.
Oh god.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I could
Yeah.
I could stand the original iPhone ringtone, like the marimba.
Okay, so the second one, you are teleported back to 1954 and you're able to play one song to spice it up. Very similar to Back to the Future. What song are you playing? I picked How Dare You Want More by Bleachers because I feel like it wouldn't be too far off for them to like change the course of musical history, but it would be a good one to blow their minds.
I've always thought about this with tech, but I haven't thought about it with like I'd love to bring like my laptop to the 60s.
Oh my gosh,
And be
yeah.
like, yo, check it out, I'm recording digitally, and they'd be like, what the fuck is digital? But song?
I'd play WAP. I'm just
WAP?
kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Great one. Oh my god,
No.
you'd honestly probably be put in jail.
I think I'd be burned at the stake.
Yeah. Did you say the 40s?
54.
No, the 50s.
54. Was there anything significant that happened in 1954?
No, I just randomly picked that year.
1954.
I think I'd bring like I'd bring back a song where like melodically it would be acceptable, but the production is like so good. Like I don't know, like Senorita by
Oh
like
yeah.
Shawn Mendes, or like because I would want to bring back like a super aggressive hip hop song, but I feel like people just would just be like, no. So it has to be something like I would want to do something shocking like that for the 50s, but also I don't think it just wouldn't be like no one would care. So
You're thinking so strategically. I feel I feel like
okay, final answer, Senorita by Shawn Mendes and
That's
I
Camille.
don't
fair.
know.
That's fair.
I feel like it'd be like a Coldplay song or something. I don't know. Something
Yeah,
that I feel
totally.
the same way. Like I feel like it'd have to be something that people would actually accept.
Like Fix You.
But like
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but still move the needle on progress and
Yeah.
music and time, you know?
The last time I
Yeah.
asked that question, I did say WAP, so
Did you really?
Nice.
yeah.
That's so funny.
But I think I said the 20s. That was the difference. But,
Oh my
either
god.
way.
Yeah, with people doing the foxtrot to walk.
So I have one more. You're on a first date and it went terribly. You have to drive the person home. What song are you playing on the drive home to cut the silence? I picked today "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Oh god.
Just to, crunch up the little uncomfiness that's already going to be happening.
I don't know why,
What's
but
the No, you go. Go
I
on.
had Bohemian Rhapsody come to mind. I feel like you'd want something that like both of you would know and that you could like kind of sing to or hum to. Like who doesn't know that? If you don't know that song, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, I feel like it just have to be something that
What's that
you
song that's like, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give.
Oh,
Uh,
Big Sean. Big Sean,
yeah,
right?
that
Yeah.
song. I play that song.
full blast.
No, that's so mean. I would
Just,
never do that.
I always ask this question because I think it's so funny to think about that situation.
I think I'd play Apologize by, because I feel like I'm so sorry I was so awkward. It's too late
It's
to
a
apologize. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Um,
Game.
let's see. I have one final question for you guys. Musicians have the ability and the platform to leave marks on the world, either that be bigger or smaller. As a band, what mark do you want to make?
Get
Mm.
vaccinated.
Yeah.
Period.
Seriously.
Long term, uh, that's a great question.
I think like positivity and like optimism, but also relatability in the sense that like because our music has like a lot of depressing lyrics with or a lot of lyrics about like us struggling with like life and mental health, but like wrapped up in very boppy fun music, like instrumentally and melodically as well. And I think that is kind of what we can give to the world because we're not perfect humans, but this is like our music is really just our experience kind of wrapped up in music. So like I think it's like knowing that it's okay to have some like to struggle with mental health, and like it's okay to feel shitty sometimes, and it's okay to feel great, and like but also trying to like move the needle more towards like living like a positive life, but knowing it's okay to struggle because like we all do as individuals, but just trying our best to like affect the world positively, really. I think like
Yeah, I think
escapism mixed with relatability, I think
no,
is
that's
like
that's the
what we try
I
and
feel
do.
like no, that's definitely the perfect balance. I mean, you want to be able to leave the world better than you found it, including from
Yeah.
like a human standpoint.
Absolutely. And I think that was perfectly said. I appreciate you guys. And Valley, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allie. It
Thank you.
was fun.
Appreciate it.